Hi students, I am Mr. Arokia from Department of English, St.Joseph College of Arts and Science, Autonomous Cuddalore. Today I am going to teach you about the topic, the Duchess of Malfi. This topic was written by John Webster. It was published in 1623. He was born on 1578 and died on 1632. He was an English Jacobean dramatist. He is best known for his tragedies, The White Devil and the Duchess of Malfi. This was his best tragedies. His life and career overlapped with Shakespeare's. So this is a little bit about the author introduction. The Duchess of Malfi is a play by playwright John Webster. It follows Duchess of Malfi as she is spied on, tortured, and eventually murdered by her brothers for disobeying them. The Duchess of Malfi is a revenge tragedy. The Duchess of Malfi tells the story of the spirited Duchess and her love for her trustworthy steward Antonio. Married secretly, despite the opposition of her two brothers, Ferdinand, the Duke of Calabria, and the Cardinal. These were the two brothers who tortured her not to love anyone. The Duchess of Malfi unfolds in corrupt Roman Catholic Italy, reflecting English audience perceptions of the time. It means the 1500s. Ferdinand, her brother, the Duke of Calabria, enters with his entourage. Ferdinand learns that Antony has proven himself the best at the knightly competition. Antonio gives Delio his impression of the three siblings. The cardinal is jealous and vengeful. Ferdinand is perverse and turbulent, and the Duchess is sweet and noble. And his brother Ferdinand asks the Duchess to accept Bozzolo as a servant, and she agrees. In fact, the brothers have hired Bozzolo to spy on the Duchess. So, inverting traditional rules, the Duchess takes initiative, wooing Antonio, and they marry in secret. The pregnant Duchess faces scrutiny as Bozzolo, spying for Ferdinand. As the Duchess is about to give birth to a child, her marriage to Antonio is still secret, and she has concealed her pregnancy by wearing loose clothing. Bozzolo, however, suspects that she is pregnant and tries to trap her by giving her a present of apricots. Ferdinand confronts the Duchess, frightening her and suggesting to suicide after learning of her children through Bozzolo. So his brother were not satisfying of marrying her. So she was frightened very much about her brothers. To escape, the Duchess and Antonio concoct a plan involving Antonio's supposed theft and leading to his dismissal from Amalfi. At last, the Duchess reveals Antonio's innocence and exposing their true relationship and plan to flee to join him. Her brothers came to know that the plan of escape. The Cardinal and the Ferdinand formally banish her and Antonio and their children. And Antonio decided to flee to Milan with his eldest son, but Bozzolo now is in disguise and wanted to capture the Duchess and her children under the order of her brothers. When Antony is gone, she confesses this plan to Bosola, who tells Ferdinand the Cardinal, intercepts the Duchess and Antonio at the meeting, and banishes them both. The couple split up for safely. Her brothers plan to kill Duchess, so they send her to a prison. The Duchess faces a madman, and Bozzolo, disguised, announces his intent to kill her. The Duchess is imprisoned but bears it with dignity. When Ferdinand shows her wax bodies that he pretends are the corpses of Antony and her child. So like that her brothers that they have killed Antonio. By hearing this news, she decides she no longer wants to live. As such, when Ferdinand tries to torture her further, she is unruffled, and at last they kill the Duchess. Ferdinand, initially remorseless, and becomes maddened by guilt upon seeing the Duchess' lifeless body. Bozzolo, plagued by a guilty conscience and face condemnation from Ferdinand, who refuses to pay him, and the Duchess briefly awakens only to learn her husband is alive before succumbing to death. Then Bozzolo and Ferdinand accuses, even though he ordered the death, he refuses to pay him. The Duchess revives for a moment, but then pauses. Bozzolo feels extremely guilty. In Milan, unaware of his wife's fate, Antonio confronts the cardinal in the desperate attempt to defuse the situation. The cardinal, desperate to keep his involvement a secret, orders Bozzolo to murder Antonio, while Bozzolo schemes for revenge. But Bozzolo secretly wants to save Antonio. The cardinal also asks Bozzolo to help him move Julia's body. At last they also killed Julia. So meanwhile Antonio sneaks into the cardinal's chamber at night and wanted to seek reconciliations. In the darkness he is stabbed by Bozzolo at last. The courtiers and Delio enter there as Bozzolo and the cardinal are dying. Bozzolo is satisfied that he avenged the Duchess, Antonio, Julia, and himself. Delio is carrying Antonio and the Duchess' child. He asks the courtier to establish this new generation with honesty. So at last the play The Duchess of Malfi ends with revenge, betrayal, and Antonio was accidentally stabbed by Bozzolo, who overheard the cardinal's plan to betray him. Antonio learns of the Duchess' murder and loses the will to live. In chaotic events, Bozzolo stabs the cardinal, leading to both brothers' death. At last, Delio promises to help Antonio's son claim his rightful inheritance. So with this message, I conclude this topic. Thank you.